What's up, everybody? Welcome back to D's Corner. I'm your host, D. We're going to continue on and finish up with our off-season outlook. This is the free agency edition, the NFC West. So let's get right into it. Well, I guess before that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, comment. I really appreciate it. Help me help my channel grow. All right, so now let's jump right on into it. We're going to go with the worst team of the NFC West. This was the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, now they are strapped with some cap. They have some players that they need to re-sign, or are they just going to let these players go? My guess is they're going to let most of their players go. They're coming in with a coach. This will be going into his second season as a coach. He did not draft Kyler Murray, but I believe that this is going to be the draft because Kyler's coming off of an injury. So I think this is going to be the draft that they, or the offseason that they build as much around Kyler as possible. And they give themselves as ownership, general manager, and everything like, hey, he's not the guy, or hey, we can win with this guy. They are going to need some offensive linemen that you want to build around and protect Kyler. They have the 4th overall pick, which a lot of people assume could be Marvin Harrison Jr. They also have the 27th overall pick, a plethora of 3rd round picks, a 2nd round pick. This team could actually end up with Marvin Harrison Jr. and T. Higgins if they decide to make a trade. If you give, like I said, I think they're going to build around Kyler and take away all excuses from his height, his maturity, him coming off of an injury. Maybe he has matured. They did have that clause removed from his contract about him needing to do some studying away from the facility. But if you go and you give a player like Kyler Murray a Marvin Harrison Jr., you also pair that with a T. Higgins or another young wide receiver. What are you able to do? They still have James Conner in the backfield. Buda Baker could be a player that's traded on the defensive side. I could see this team going and getting Hassan Reddick. I don't think it will cost too much as far as compensation, draft capital wise. But Hassan Reddick was a part of that record-setting Eagles team not last season, 2 seasons ago, with this head coach as their defensive coordinator. When they were, sacking quarterbacks left and right. Definitely believe that this is going to be the offseason where this coach begins to bring in his type of players to build up his culture and who are aware of his defensive scheme. So that's why it makes sense to me that they would go after Hassan Reddick. I could also see them with Daniil Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings coming out west and getting paid by Arizona to rush the passer out there. This division has usually been a tough division, really, of the 3 of the 4 teams, San Fran, the Rams, as well as Seattle. Arizona Cardinals, I still believe next year will be at the end of this division. I think they will still come up last. I don't envision them as a playoff caliber team. I personally don't believe in Kyler Murray, but I do believe that he has a good skill set if used properly. Though just running around and throwing the ball, I don't think that's going to really work for him, especially, coming off that injury. And he's a smaller guy. So we're going to have to try to get some quick passes, get him some playmakers, give him an opportunity to, put that 50-50 ball up there. And players like Marvin Harrison Jr. as well as T. Higgins give him that opportunity. All right, let's move on to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks have been on a releasing spree, releasing both of their starting safeties in Quandre Diggs as well as Jamal Adams. Adams is a player that I assumed would be released, and I spoke about that on the Double D podcast. Don't forget to check us out there. But I definitely thought Jamal Adams would be released. He brought some form of attitude to the Seahawks, but he was always injured. And he's more of a box safety, dime linebacker. Now, he's not really a coverage safety where everything is kind of going. The Seattle Seahawks do have a new head coach, with Pete Carroll kind of being forced out, for lack of better terms. But they brought in McDonald over from the Baltimore Ravens, who had the number 1 defense, if I'm not mistaken. They had a top tier defense. I believe that Patrick Queen is going to be a player for the Seattle Seahawks. I think this coach is going to want to get in some of his guys to turn this defense into what he wants it to be while trying to build up. He has been non-committal on Geno Smith as the starting quarterback. Could this be a team that makes a trade for Justin Fields? I think that there's going to be a team that comes out of nowhere who gets Justin Fields, and I like the Seattle Seahawks as that team. Just giving him someone young to continue to build around. They have playmakers. They have running game. They have a running game who Fields would enhance. DK Metcalf. They just re-upped Tyler Lockett. Noah Fant is gone, so I think they'll go. They will have to come away either free agency or this draft with a tight end, which is very doable with this draft class. Offensive line, I think their tackles are good. They need to replenish the interior, which this free agency, there's a lot of good guards out there, as well as in the draft, and as well as centers for both the draft and free agency. So I think this team can boost up its trenches on the offensive side of the ball. There's not really a lot that needs to be reworked or reconfigured when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. It's just really depending on what they feel or believe in Geno. This team's offseason, I think, will be ushering in a new wave of defenders and trying to get back to not necessarily the Legion of Boom, but getting back to that style of defense where Seattle's going to come up, they're going to hit you in the mouth. Now, who could those players be? They say that they haven't closed the door on Jamal Adams and Quandre Diggs returning. I don't believe that will happen. I believe that this will be a team where you'll see a lot of previous Ravens. Geno Stone, I think he could definitely be in play. Like I already stated, Patrick Queen. I think they'll bring back Leonard Williams in hopes that he can excel in this new scheme. But this, like I said, this is going to be the team where you want to go build up the defense more. You want to stop the Kyle Shanahan. You want to stop the Sean McVay out there. And to get to the playoffs, you have to win your division. So to win this division, you're going to need some defense, especially when you go up against the San Francisco 49ers and all of the talent they have offensively. Really the Rams too. The Rams have a lot of good offensive talent. So like I said, I think Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, I think these are going to be two players that will sign with the Seattle Seahawks in hopes of shaping and reforming the 12s into what McDonald wants as his defense, so that you can give that fan base something to cheer about, especially when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Next, we're going to go on to the Los Angeles Rams, who were a playoff team. They've already re-signed Kevin Dotson on that offensive line. So they're going to want to try to keep Matthew Stafford protected. Obviously, they want to get Kyron Williams the ball, and you want to give him some rushing lanes. He's a really good running back. If you look at some of the stats, he outdid Christian McCaffrey in certain categories as far as utilization. You have Puka Nacua on one side. You got Cooper Kupp on the other side. I think they could possibly ask Cooper Kupp to restructure because Puka did so well during Kupp's injury, him being out. This has also been a team that has come up regarding the Zach Wilson trade. We just saw Mac Jones go for a 6th-round pick, and he was light years, I guess, away from what Zach Wilson was as a quarterback. Both of them being 1st-round picks. I could definitely see Zach Wilson. I could see Sean McVay being interested in Zach Wilson because of what he's done with Baker Mayfield. He likes those former 1st-round quarterbacks. Look what he did with Matthew Stafford, and he thinks that he can build around them. I think that he believes that he can make things lighter on Zach Wilson. Plus, you still have Matthew Stafford there, so he could work behind Aaron Rodgers this past season, let him work behind Matthew Stafford this season and see what the kid can do, especially when you take a lot of the thinking away from him. You just kind of make the thing simple. Football is just a simple sport. If you're overthinking, you're not playing fast. So like I say, they did lose Raheem Morris as their defensive coordinator. We'll have to see what they do, where they go. Danielle Hunter is also a player I could see that the Rams could be interested in. I could see them bringing in a player like Shaq Barrett, a veteran who has played. He plays an important position on the edge, and he just was released, so he's already won a championship. Could he want to come there and play with Aaron Donald? How much longer will Aaron Donald be there? This is also a team that I could see. They have Ernest Jones in the middle, but if they're going to continue running their 3-4, what about pairing Devin White there with Aaron Jones? I think Devin White would be a nice fit as well, especially when you're going to have to stop that rushing attack with the San Francisco 49ers as well as the Seattle Seahawks. I think Devin White would fit nicely there. Also, they're going to need some corner help, and this is the draft and this is the free agency where you need them. There are a lot of good corners out there that are available. We'll see what the Los Angeles Rams do, but they're going to have to do something to try to keep pace with the San Francisco 49ers and try to overthrow them, if you will, for them to try to get back to the Super Bowl. So last but not least, we are going to go with the San Francisco 49ers, the runner-up of the Super Bowl. Bird, I know it hurts, bro. It's all good. It's our team. Niner gang, baby. Chase Young is, I think, the biggest free agent that they have, and this is what's crazy. This team has so much talent. They're just about everybody's coming back. Just about everybody's coming back. They lost Hufanga in an injury. He'll be back this season. They have Brown, the rookie who stepped in after him. So I think those will be their starting safeties. Greenlaw, they will have to replace this year. He tore his Achilles in the Super Bowl, so I do not envision him playing this year. Regardless, even if he does the Aaron Rodgers, whatever medical method he did to get back and come off injured reserve, but never play. But I think that the San Francisco 49ers are still probably the top dogs in the NFC. And all of the NFC, I do not really envision any team being able to overthrow them. There's a lot of other teams in here. And if you even look at the playoff teams, all the playoff teams outside of Green Bay are going to be teams that are having to retool. San Francisco's not one of those teams. Green Bay's not one of those teams. But San Francisco, when you look offensively, Debo's coming back. McCaffrey will be back. Trent Williams is coming back. Kittle's coming back. Brandon Ayuk has been talked about as trade bait. If you trade him, you're still going to get, at least 2 picks, maybe a late first, early second round, or maybe a 2 and a 3, maybe a 2 and a 4. But I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to get something because he's a younger receiver. He doesn't do a lot of talking. Now, obviously, after the Super Bowl and stuff, there was a lot of Twitter things, but he hasn't outwardly come out and spoken negatively about the unit or anything like that about the team. And this is what you're able to put around a quarterback when you're paying your starting quarterback nothing. Honestly, if you look at it, this team was supposed to be Trey Lance's team, and Trey Lance is no longer there. You traded up a ton of draft capital. And if you go back and look at that draft when they traded, had they not have traded up, this team would right now have Nick Bosa on one side and Micah Parsons on the other, which would be freaking crazy. But the fact that you're not paying your quarterback a lot of money, there's been talks of Joey Bosa on the trade block. Could you bring Joey Bosa in and have the Bosa brothers as your bookends with Kinlaw in the middle and Hargrave? Well, I think Kinlaw is actually a free agent, but with Hargrave in the middle, Fred Warner behind them, the secondary will still be solid. I'm pretty sure they want to get another corner. But Kyle Shanahan does an excellent job of making sure that his team is ready and getting them to the playoffs. Obviously, with the Super Bowl thing and the rules and all the players coming out saying that they were not tracking or they were not aware of all that. Now, that could make my statement of him keeping his team prepared as a lie. But I wasn't in the locker room, so I really can't tell you what exactly was said or what he went over or anything like that. But I think San Francisco 49ers overall will have a quiet offseason, especially when it comes to free agency. They are capable of making the one big play. John Lynch has said that he's always all in. So I think that this year it will be something else defensively if they make a move. my biggest guess, like I said, would be Joey Bosa playing with his little brother Nick Bosa, and I think that would be pretty cool. Having your brother play like the Watt brothers did, but it wasn't JJ and TJ. Um, Having your older brother on the opposite side of you with the defense that they play, um, the aggression that they have, with the points that this team can put up, they're going to be able to pin their ears back and go get the quarterback. So I think that would be a great move. Even though Joey has been hurt as of late, but getting him in there with rotation, you still have Drake Jackson, so you got some players that you can rotate in. If you look at all the signings that they did last year, even trading for Chase Young, they had a rotation of guys going in on that defensive front. So maybe that would help keep Joey safe. Joey healthy as the season progresses. But I definitely foresee the San Francisco 49ers as a playoff team next year. A lot of people are saying that this is the only team that they think that can overthrow the Kansas City Chiefs or stop the Kansas City Chiefs from three-peating. I personally do not. I don't know that there's a team in the NFL right now that can. We'll see how the offseason goes, heading into free agency and as well as going into the draft. But for right now, I don't see anyone being able to do it. But I do definitely see the San Francisco 49ers as being the team that can represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next year. So with all that being said, this is the final video of the offseason free agency, offseason outlook free agency edition. I will be posting a free agency prediction video, if you will. It will be coming out prior to free agency, so be on the lookout for that. Again, you can find me on Double D's podcast with my brother Damien. Like, share, and subscribe there as well. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here. Let us know what we're working on, what we can work on. Let us know if you like the content, anything that you think would help us, anything that you would want to see. We're all ears, and we're looking for the best advice, and we're looking for the pros and the cons to see what we can work on, what you like and what you don't like. So again, appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time. Y'all have a good one.